Next thing on the syllabus is somatoform disorders, right? But it's much better for us, for the most clarity, to look at first the comparison of three closely related disorders. There's somatoform disorders, factitious disorders, and malingering, okay? There's some debate if you want to call malingering a disorder, and you'll see why in a few minutes. But our topic for the moment, the one coming up, is somatoform disorders. But to have the best chance of making sense of this, it's best for us to first look at what do somatoform, factitious, and malingering, what do they have in common, and how are they different? Okay? So somatoform, factitious. Now, both because of the sound of the word and also because of the content, don't confuse. Factitious is easily confused with fictitious, but it's not fictitious. It's factitious with the A, like the word fact. Okay, factitious. And then we have malingering. Okay? Malingering. Somatoform, factitious, malingering. So the first question then is, why are we comparing these three things? Why am I saying that it's important to look at how these things have something in common? All right? In all three cases, we cannot find evidence consistent with the patient's claims. Now remember, these are three separate categories, all right, that are distinct, but they have a lot in common, and so to make sense of this whole area, it's best to first look at what do they have in common, how are they separate, all right? So for all three of them, somatoform disorders, factitious disorders, and malingering, we cannot find evidence consistent with what the patient's saying. So notice once again, I am intentionally not saying that what the patient's saying is not true. I'm intentionally not saying that the patient is lying, right? So that's what they have in common. So then the next question is, how are they different? Okay, you can put that down if you want. So, how are the three categories different? And the answer is that the reason that we can't find information consistent with what they're saying is different for each category, all right? So how are they similar? It's that we cannot find information consistent with what they're saying. How are they different? The reason for that is different for each category, all right? In the case of somatoform disorders, we'll go one by one for a moment. In the case of somatoform disorders, the patient believes in what they're saying, but we cannot find evidence consistent with what they're saying. And somatoform is not a disorder in itself. It's a category of several disorders. And these patients often have very nasty, severe symptoms, and in some cases, spectacular, extreme symptoms. And so it's all the more... it makes the clinician all the more inclined to be doubtful because the symptoms are often quite spectacular. But the patient believes in what they're saying. All right? In the case of factitious and malingering, the patient knows they're lying, but their reason for lying is different between factitious and malingering.